during the telecast. They had Dr. J come on during the third quarter, which was awesome talk. Just hearing him so eloquent, he's awesome.
Dude, he's the best, man.
He's great.
Man.
But I think it was Allah or Kate. It was either Allah or Kate's guy asked him. I forgot which one asked him.
I think it was Allah.
Allah asked him if Embiid was one of the most skilled centers of all time. And I know a lot of the old guys don't like the whole all-time talk, the comparative stuff. But Dr. J listed some things that Embiid could improve on. And so he says pretty much he said he's not there yet. That was the quote. Do you think Embiid is one of the most skilled centers of all time, Eric?
I think for his ability to size to shoot the ball from deep and still do all the other things around the rim. So, I think he's one of them. But it really depends on, what you consider to be skill. Because I'm one to say blocks, rebounds, running the court, defense is skill. That's a skilled talent. When people say skill, they only think offensively. They only think scoring.
Yeah, you're right.
So if you're saying he's one of the most skilled bigs that can shoot jump shots, yes. But when you're talking about all around, it's a lot of guys that can go on that list, man. And it also depends on what, a skill. What skill are we talking about? Moses Malone's ability to offensive rebound and rebound. That skill was unprecedented.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But one wouldn't compare. They'll say Joel is more skilled because they look at the offensive scoring in different ways. But like a guy that's always telling me about, how great Steph Curry is because he shoots threes. And I'm like, making a lot of threes to me is great, but is that making a lot of threes? Is that really a thing that's separates a guy from another guy? But what if the guy that don't shoot threes score more than the guy that shoots and makes a lot of threes?
DeRozan's a good example of that.
Or James Harden. I'm just saying James Harden and Steph Curry. Steph Curry made all those threes, but James got more points. But Steph Curry's looked at as the better player.
Yeah.
James got more rebounds, more points, more assists.
Yeah.
So Steph go down as the best 3-point shooter, and he'll have all the 3-point records with a lot of guys on his watch that have more points. But people will say he's more skilled. That's why I'm saying I think when you talk about more skilled, it got to be more defined on what it is you're talking about. But if we're saying offensively, yes, he's one of them offensively as far as with his range of different ways of scoring.
Mm.
From there, I say yes, but people also couldn't stop Kareem's hook. Is anything more skilled than that? You know what I'm saying? It was coming and you couldn't stop it.
Yeah.
You can't get more skilled than that. Wilt Chamberlain. I mean, come on, man. People still accomplishing things, and they say this hadn't been done since Wilt.
Yeah.
We give Wilt no credit.
It's crazy.
Man.
It's crazy. I was looking at all the great centers. I pull it up on my computer, actually.
Hey, man, he averaged 50 and 20, man. 50 and 20, man.
So wild.
Yeah, but according to
let me ask you a question. If Joel was to go in college and play right now, do you think he would average 50 and 20?
That's a lot.
Nah, he'd be close though.
No way.
Yeah.
He'd be in the 40s.
No way.
He's 34 right now in the NBA.
College is different. You can zone up, a true zone.
He plays bully ball against.
That's the difference between college and pro. One, you can zone up, and it's a shorter game. Those 8 extra minutes are a big difference.
That's true. I don't know, man. That's a good question.
Yeah, it's tough.
You don't think he'd average more than 40 a game?
No, I think the style of the game, a longer short shot clock, 8 fewer minutes in a true zone makes it tougher to get those types of numbers. Will he dominate? Heck yeah. Those types of numbers. It's just too hard to get. It's not enough time to me.
But wouldn't the fouls also help that? Stop the clock all those times?
Yeah, but I'm saying
fouled like 40 times a game.
But it's still fewer possessions because a true zone, it's not like you can't just have guys. You can have multiple guys just sit in the paint. Where in the league, you can't do that. So the court isn't as open. The 3-point line isn't as for a while. And the paint, the key is smaller.
Mm-hmm.
So everything it's harder. It's harder for guys. That's why you're seeing guys leading scorers averaging 18, 19 points and coming in the league and averaging 25.
Yeah.
Because of the time, the space, the openness of the court, and all of that, and the more possessions. Yeah. But it's a question, though. That's what I'm saying. It makes you think about that.
Yeah, that's a great question. But yeah, also JJ Redick would say Wilt average those numbers because he played against like plumbers and electricians.
Yeah, and they also wasn't allowed to go to the same hotels as their teammates too. So yeah, we're gonna talk about everything. We're gonna talk about some things they went through. Talk about everything.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And they didn't have $1 million in trainers and coaches and
nutritionists. They weren't going to Germany and getting like experimental stem cell therapy.
If we're gonna call out part of it, call out all of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I always laugh at because it's like, they're like, oh man, these guys play ball 24/7. They have the best in the world. Well, then how come they're missing so many games?
Yes.
How come they need nights off then?
Yeah.
Like, so no one wants to talk about that, but people want to talk about how much they have going for them. It's like, man, talk about both things on both sides of it. On both sides of it. Looking at centers though, what's crazy about Joel though is that he's got the best aspects of a lot of these guys, but what separates him is a lot of these guys and the game didn't. And I'm not saying these guys couldn't do it. They were just in a different era where they didn't have to do it. Like Hakeem didn't need to play like a guard all the time. That's something that Joel just tends to do. But what I will say, when you brought in defense, it was a good point, and rebounding. I'd say Joel is not. If you were going to rank all these guys in rebounding, Joel would not.
He's not near where he should be.
As far as rebounding, he's not. Especially in today's era, like he should be averaging like 15 a game, dude. You know,
you see him do it some nights, but he's not on every night.
I mean, you look at that our streak. We just like these 9 games or so. I think it was only 3 games he had over 10. He had 10 double figures.
Crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. But I will say defensively, I've seen Joel stay on a guard for the majority of his shot clock. Most of these guys on this list could not do that in their primes even.
Yeah, we don't know that, though.
I mean, even as
I'm
just
saying we don't know that because they weren't switching everything. We don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Guys didn't switch everything because of the way the game was played. You switch, all of a sudden that big guy rolled down on that little guard. It was because the rules were different as far as how you could defend that guy. Mm-hmm. So if you switch that big roll down, you couldn't roll that guy from the corner in and pre-switch that. You couldn't do all of that stuff. That was illegal defense. So that's why they didn't switch and do all of that stuff. So I'm saying we really don't know if they could have done that.
Yeah.
But the way the rules were, you could not do the things that they're doing right now defensively to combat the switch and the big rolling. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I get it.
I'll
That's
give you an example. So last night, Chicago runs a pick and roll, and Joel takes, Levine and the big rolls, and James is guarding that big. Nowadays, Tobias can run in there and switch, and James can go out and take that guy in the corner.
Yep.
But when I played, that was illegal for you to do that. The only way Tobias could go into the paint, if he went into the paint, he had to go double the ball, or it was illegal defense.
Wow.
So that's what I'm saying. Rules like that makes it difficult for people to switch like they do now. and to be able for a big to guard that guard. That's why you couldn't do that. It was illegal on the backside.
I guess add to the list of things that how the game has changed how the guys play.
I'm saying, but most people that are saying all this don't understand how all of that stuff comes in. So I'm trying to show you and show people
100%
how different it was and why people played a certain way sometimes, because you had to.
Not to say I would have expected in 1993 Ewing to be guarding like guards by the 3-point line.
Yeah.
I mean, even if he could, I don't know
if they switched late in the clock, like people would do it late in clocks, then they knew that the shot's going to go.
They had no choice. Yeah, they just had to sleep on them.
You would do it then, or you would trap.
Yeah,
and just rotate, and then that big would, when he kicks it out, he would rotate back to the rim.
But I think that's where I see Joel just so different in so many ways, because in a way he is kind of a throwback big. Like people always wonder, like, oh, what happens if you take that guy and put him in today? Joel, I think, is one of the guys who's closest to that. What happens if you take that guy and put him in today's game? I think that's what Joel looks like. He looks like the dream. If you took his DNA and put him into someone in like now, they would
play more like Joel than they played more like their time. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's what the game calls for, and that's what coaches want them to do.
Yes. Yeah.
But it's Shaq, and Shaq even said it. Shaq is more like Giannis than he is Joel.
Yeah, as far as like just
just
bulldozing into the lane,
attacking and being able to kick out to wide open. Like his game is more, Giannis actually has the ball more, but I'm just saying as far as their dominance in the paint,
yeah,
it's more similar. But yeah, I mean that's why I said Joel offensively, but some of those guys that like Ewing could shoot it.
Yes,
but he never shot threes, so we don't really know if he could shoot threes.
Yeah,
they were just they just didn't do it.
Yeah, he didn't need to.
The guys are pros, man. Like it's a lot of bigs that can shoot the ball.
Yeah.
They just weren't asked to go out there and shoot. I mean, but it's different, if Joel's playing against true 7-foot post-up guys that get the ball, get high volume guys. Every game he's playing against those guys, and they putting him in the basket, and he got to work and post and bang all day like that. That's different. If that happened, he's not going to be like, man, I'm not going out there and guard that guard every time.
Yeah.
And then rolling, this guy rolling, he getting that easy bucket. Then they're gonna be like, he scored on you. Like it's different, man. If he's playing against that every night, I mean, he's the biggest every night.
Yeah. Alonzo Mourning would have adapted really well too, because he had a nice shot. He could play D. He could roll out. Alonzo Mourning's one of those bigs that can roll out and guard.
Like Zoe could roll into a big and switch, and like he could have did all that. But also wasn't as big as a lot of those other guys too.
That's true. Yeah. What was he, like 6'10"?
Yeah.
Yeah. So and that's that's what Irving also said last night too. Before he got into it, he said he was looking for the words for it. He's like, I've seen guys in my past do what Joel does. They just weren't as big as Joel.
Yeah.
So probably saw guys that were like 6'9" do these kind of things, like in 6'10" do these kind of things, right?
I mean, not really. I mean, I've seen 7-footers. Kevin Garnett did it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? But Kevin Garnett would be a center right now.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. In fact,
Kevin Garnett did everything that he's doing and more. And probably more of a passer and handling the ball. Like, so it's been done. But nobody sees Kevin as a center because he was a power forward.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
He's 7 foot.
I actually think Garnett should draw more. Joel should draw more comparisons to Garnett than he does. You never hear them mentioned in the same sentence.
Because Joel's considered a center and KG wasn't.
Yeah. Yeah. And he started – you saw the transition toward the end with Boston. He was playing full-time, like 5 for them.
Because everybody started getting smaller.
Yeah.
teams, everybody started getting smaller and extend the court. That's when the game started changing. But come on, man. So I'm just saying, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, are we comparing him to bigs, or are we comparing him to centers?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because, Tim Duncan played center and they never called him center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ever. His whole career. They would call him 6'8" guy center so he could be power forward.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. That's funny. Yeah. Good.
I know. In regards to the whole, if Embiid was playing in college, would he average 50 and 20? I got one for you, Eric. I saw this trending on social media last week. If Embiid was on a 16 seed, in college, would that team win the championship?
No.
Could he take any 16 seed to the championship?
No.
No.
Not if he's averaging like 25 points a game. Like,
those are the college game is too different, man. Like, it's too different. The shorter, the way they can zone up, and like, he can't guard 5 people. He can't. I mean, they still got to get him the ball.
All right, you put him on Furman then.
No.
Furman won a game without Joel. We just need like 5 more.
Yes. No.
Yeah, a lot of people were saying it was Colin Cowherd's show. They said Giannis and Embiid, you put them on any 16 seed, they would win the championship. And then some people online took it a step further, saying you put Embiid or Giannis on the girls' team's lowest seed, and they'd win in the men's bracket.
I knew that was going to get him good. This is what people look to try to talk about, Eric, to try to fill some airtime.
That's horrible.
All right. Well, we're afraid away from the March Madness talk.